Hi everybody, this is Luke, and welcome back to Serious Sunday, the show where I talk about video games and just tend to ramble on generally way too much. This week, let's talk about serendipity. I did a video on ThursDev, if you're not catching this the week of, talking about microtransactions and sort of monetization models. I'm in the middle of a series of monetization models like that. And this week, I actually had the pleasure of running into a very interesting game on Steam that has done something very interesting. The game in question is called Honey Rose, Underdog Fighter Extraordinaire, which is a game by a French studio, I believe, by the name of Pehes, perhaps. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but either way, it's pretty cool. They've done some interesting things by melding the visual novel genre together with a fighting game. The last time I experienced a game like that was way back in the day of Rival Schools, or as it was known in Japan as Shiritsu Justice Gakuen, which I played back on the PlayStation 1, back when I got one originally, when I was studying in Japan in high school. But yeah, it's a really interesting combination. It's the sort of thing that you wouldn't really think about having access to or really trying to do together, but it works out surprisingly well. And after having played it for a good half hour or so, I can say with relative confidence that it's a pretty fun game. I'm enjoying myself. I really enjoy the hand-drawn art, although if you watch me play Jotun, that was one of the really big things that drew me to the game. So I guess that's not really a huge surprise. But the reason why I talk about this game specifically is not necessarily their interesting sort of ideas about game design or the way that they designed the game, but their monetization strategy. So this is a game that has been released on Steam, which we all know is a video game distribution platform. But Steam, one thing that it doesn't do, and it does a lot of things, is allow the developer to put in what is generally described as a pay-what-you-want model for their games, or for any game, honestly. They have a free-to-play version where you can just download a game for free, obviously, exactly as it says on the tin, but they don't really let you define how much you're going to pay for the game yourself, which is, that's fine. It's sort of an oddball thing, and not a whole lot of developers are doing that right now, although it seems to be kind of starting to gain a little bit of traction. This is something that's being done in the music space quite a lot. I buy a good number of albums off of Bandcamp, and they often have sort of a pay-what-you-want model where you can just download the music and pay what you want later on, or you can put up $5 or $10 or however much you think that it's worth. It's $1 if you want to add it to your library so that you can download it easily anytime afterward. But this is, again, not something that Steam really does. But Pehes did something clever with Steam's monetization system, which is to say that instead of doing a straight up pay what you want model, they instead created 8 tiers of downloadable content, which, if you're familiar, it's the sort of content pack style where you spend money externally for something that kind of, under normal circumstances, would be added to the game. Whereas in this case, they basically just say, you're not buying any content for the game, but you are donating to the game, or this is your pay what you want option. You can pay $1 for what they call the symbolic tier, $2 for their sale tier, $5 for their humble tier, 8 for impulse buy. Then they have like an affordable tier, 2016 standard, which is like $15. The patron tier, and then the above and beyond tier, which is like $25, give or take. $27.99 Canadian for what it's worth. But anyway, yeah, I found that was a really clever way to go about doing that. And as somebody who, back when we were doing free-to-play games on, well, not necessarily free to play, but free to start, and then with a major unlock pack, and then with monetized items. So with DLC or with microtransactions, essentially, back when microtransactions were not a very common thing to see on console, we kind of had to play around with that idea to get, regular DLC packs for a bunch of small items as opposed to expansion packs, which were sort of the order of the day back when we were doing like Wizardry. I've never necessarily been involved with a pay-what-you-want project before, but I like the idea. I thought it was a great move on their part, and perhaps we will see some more things like this happening in the future, or if Valve is paying close enough attention, they will look into a pay-what-you-want model as an option for some games as well. Although, it's maybe difficult to do. I don't know for sure. Obviously, you have other options like Humble, which gives you the option to choose how much you're paying for typically bundles. I don't know actually whether Humble Bundle does a pay-what-you-want or has access to a pay-what-you-want model for just the standard Humble store, and GOG is almost exclusively just straight up one-size-fits-all pricing. But yeah, my hat's off to Pahes for trying this out and doing it successfully. Hopefully, people are making use of it. It's a damn good game for something that's absolutely free if you really want it to be. But if you have the disposable income and you enjoy the game, and you should absolutely check it out. It's free to download and free to play, and then you can pay what you want to pay for it. It's a neat little game. I may as well explain what it is since I'm here, where you play a university student, a woman who is also a masked luchador, I guess, basically, like a ring fighter by night, trying to become a local champion, I guess, in the local fighting circuit, while also attempting not to fail in university. So you kind of have to juggle between studying for classes while also going to the gym, keeping all of your stats up, or at least reasonably balanced, so that you can not fail classes, but you can also you got to be careful about not losing matches in these fights as well. So it's some interesting stuff, and it was kind of fun to play, and I'll probably play it a little bit more. It'll be a weekend thing for me. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about this week. The idea of a pay-what-you-want model, which is still uncommon in games, but something that we might be seeing in the near future if this sort of thing catches on. And who knows, maybe Honey Rose is going to pave the way to that. I don't know. If you have any thoughts about that, please feel free to chime in the comments section down below. I would love to hear what other people think about this kind of model. Obviously, I think people love a free game, and people who can afford to support it and feel like they should will. So, and good on those people who do. Thank you very much for listening. As always, I appreciate you dropping by, and I hope that I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, though, thanks again, and take care.